Hello and welcome to the Fourth and Fierce podcast. This is football talk, fierce and unfiltered. Really, this is a fan cast, but whatever. My name is MJ, a book lover, because who doesn't love a good book and a good football game? As always, I appreciate each and every person who takes the time to click onto this video. Please like, follow, subscribe, share. It costs this much, $0. You know what I mean? It costs nothing. But you can also email me and chat with me at fourthandfierce@gmail.com. That's the number 4, THANDFIERCE @gmail.com. This is Monday, September 22nd. It's super early because I have a real job. And so no Lions Cup. We had Hello Kitty coffee today. But we also have plenty of football to talk about, and I have plenty of notes, and we are going to jump right on to the games. Okay, let's start with the Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings. So this game, it was a decent game. I mean, I like I said, I watch Red Zone. So you guys, anyone who's ever watched this before, ever talked to me, you know that I adore Red Zone. Red Zone is my jam, like I say about my grandson. But that's my jam. I like Red Zone, and they were didn't have a lot on this game because Minnesota really, they put it to the Bengals, and I knew they would beat them. I mean, I was certain they would win simply because there's no Joe Burrow. Without Joe Burrow, I don't know what this team is. Like, he is their offense. Carson Wentz had a good day. This was the battle of the backups because you have Carson Wentz, who's JJ's backup, and JJ was out. You have Jake Browning, who is Joe Burrow's backup. So it was a battle of the backups. And between the two, I have to say I trusted Carson Wentz a little bit more than I did Jake Browning. And I was right. And they had a really good game. I mean, I did not win my parlay ticket because Justin Jefferson did not get a touchdown. I'm bitter. No, never. But again, it was a good looking game. We had some, that defense really needs to, that defense is going to have to do something. I mean, they really are. I honestly don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to have to figure it out. That offensive line is pretty bad for Cincinnati, but the defense can do nothing. It's like, it's kind of scary. And now they lost their guy. So I think he's gone for the season. They said he could be back in 3 months. I don't foresee that being the case. And it hurts my heart because you guys know I love me some Joe Burrow. If you've ever listened to me on Spotify or watched this on YouTube, you know I love me some Joe Burrow. I always have. But that game makes me a little sad for the Bengals because I thought this would be a good year for them. Even with all the troubles they have on the offensive line and the defense, I still thought they would be a little bit better. But you live and you learn. Next up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. Now, I thought this would be the game where Houston kind of got it together. But the thing about me and division games is that you just can never really tell with a division game. I'm being honest. Division games are always a little bit tricky because the team plays you so often, they know you so well. So I try to stay away from them as much as possible, but I was really rooting for CJ, and it looked bad. If you watch that game, it looked bad. He had 2 INTs. He had 34 pass attempts with 204 yards. Like, I feel so bad for CJ. I don't know what the problem is, if I'm being honest. If I'm being 100% honest, I don't know what the issue is with this team. They have, in my opinion, almost everything is like right there. You know what I mean? They have almost everything they need to be successful. And that running game has come on. CJ just looks so uncomfortable. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I just hope they get together soon. I really do like the Houston Texans. I didn't think that game was terrible in any stretch of the imagination. But I was looking at him on the sideline. He looked so very dejected. Jacksonville, they didn't look that good either. They didn't. I'm not going to lie, Travis. They didn't look good. I like Trevor Lawrence. My son calls him Sunshine. I don't know what that means. Maybe somebody could tell me. Whatever. But I like Trevor Lawrence. But I honestly didn't think that they would. I didn't think they would beat them. I hope CJ gets it back, get it together soon. Again, that was also a game to me that was a little bit uneventful in my opinion. It was decent, but again, it was uneventful. Next up, and that's it. Let's just stay in the AFC South because why not? We have the surprising 3-0 Colts. Daniel Jones versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, I called this game. Now, I didn't think Cam Ward would get his first win here. But everyone's talking about Daniel Jones like he is like second coming to Peyton Manning. He is not. He isn't. Listen, I stand by my statement that he's not the guy. I stand by that. Now, is Anthony Richardson the guy? Probably not. But I stand by my statement that he's not the guy. He beat Tennessee. He was supposed to. It was 41-20. He was supposed to beat them. They're a brand new team. I'm sorry, they have a rookie quarterback. They're just gelling and getting themselves together. He was supposed to beat them. I didn't see anything where it was going to be like some massive like coming out party for Cam Ward in any event or in any type of way. But he was supposed to beat them. He was supposed to beat them significantly. He has more experience and he has honestly a better team around him, better cast of characters, if you will, especially on the offensive side. Tennessee has a much better defense, but they have a better offensive, and they proved it and they showed it. And they won, and they were supposed to win. I'm not gonna sit here with everyone and discuss how Daniel Jones is that guy. He's not. I'm not changing my mind. If he was that guy, he would have lasted in New York. I mean, he would have. They had a good team. They had a good offensive line. He had Malik Neighbors, for God's sake. He doesn't even have that over here. He might be a better fit in Indy, and that's really true. And do they have an opportunity to win this division? Of course, they do. But I don't think Daniel Jones is the guy to take your team anywhere, and I will stand by that statement. But in any event, he played well, 18 of 25, 228 yards, 1 TD. Just looking at my notes here because I watch the game and I take notes so I can make sure I'm giving you guys accurate information because who wants to hear a bunch of lies? Nobody. Next up, we have the Raiders and Commanders. Y'all know I like Al Davis. I like the Raiders. So the Commanders have had a commanding win. Again, this is Geno Smith to me versus Marcus Mariota. I like Marcus Mariota. I remember when he was drafted, I thought, wow, he was drafted. Was it the Titans that drafted him? I'm not sure. But I know he played for the Titans and I know he played for the Falcons. But I'm pretty sure he was drafted by the Titans. And I liked him. He was a running quarterback. I think he's a Pacific Islander. I love him. I thought he was a great running QB. He had legs. And he looked good. I mean, he really did. He looked good yesterday. He looked good. You know, it seems like a lot of backups were playing this week. It was a lot going on this week. We're getting to it. But in any event, they roused the Raiders 41-24 with Geno Smith. You know, he had 3 TDs, but I mean, you really couldn't do much. He played well. They really couldn't get Gentry like moving the way they should have. He did have 17 carries for 63 yards. All the TDs went to Trey Tucker. I don't know who Trey Tucker is, but Trey Tucker balled out. Every TD that Geno threw, he threw to him. And I think that maybe they just got some kind of connect or whatever. I'm sorry guys, it's really hot in here. But yeah, that was crazy. And they still lost that game because the Commanders really, their run game was really well. Scary Terry, still that man. And Marcus Mariota looked amazing. Like that was a really good game for a backup quarterback. And it keeps Washington in contention because they keeps them right there close to the Eagles. They're still a game behind. But they're right there. And speaking of Eagles, let's just jump to the Eagles and the Rams, baby. Let's do it. I watched this game with bated breath because if you've ever seen this podcast or fan cast or listened to me, you know I don't like Matt Stafford. I don't apologize for that because I don't. And I don't have to. Now, you want to argue, get in the chat, get in the email. I don't care. I will argue. I stand by, again, I'm not a backpedaler. I stand by my statement. I don't like Matt Stafford. And I didn't want him to win. So in any event, they were winning right into the end. And then all of a sudden, boom, blocked field goal. And Eagles running back the other way for a touchdown with like 2 seconds left. Honestly, LA was in command of this game from the start. It looked like the Eagles were going to be handed their first loss. But great teams find a way to win. And they did. They found a way to win. And I love that. When people say special teams is a third of the game, that was one of the big things I used to talk about when I was younger back in 80s. That special teams the third again. This is what they're talking about. Because this was a change. This changed everything about the game. This put the Eagles at 3-0 because you play all facets of the game. You never give up. And they didn't. And they blocked that field goal. We had big man with ball. I miss Warren Sapp. I used to love me some Warren Sapp when he was on NFL Network. He was so fun. But we had big man with ball, honey, and he went all the way. I mean, for the touchdown. No time left on the clock. Game over. And that was crazy to me because it seems like to me, just by watching as a spectator, LA and Puka went off. And they had, like I said, Matt Stafford, everybody looked okay. Everybody looked good. Matt Stafford always going to throw an INT, and he did. He always does. He just does. That's what he does. I don't want to argue with me if you want to. I'm right. And another thing about that, too, is that I don't think they played to win. They played not to lose, which you cannot do in professional sports. I have been saying that forever. You cannot play a game not to lose. You have to go and play to win because they got that 26, I think it was like 26 to like 17 or something lead, and they just... 20, I think it was 26-21 or whatever, something like that. And they just kind of took their foot off the gas a little. And I don't understand that because I'm one of those Bill Belichick, Dan Campbell. Yeah, we're going to score 90 points if we can. We're going to keep scoring. Yes, I don't understand the game plan with Sean McVay and why they weren't more aggressive. They have Kyren Williams, they have Puka Nacua, Matt Stafford. I don't like him, but he does have a big arm. He can stretch the field. They have a decent running game. I don't understand why they didn't press harder because they could have won this game. But in any event, the Eagles took that home as they should. The Eagles look unstoppable. They just look like they can beat you any way that you want to play them. If you want to play, have a shootout, they'll shoot out with you all day long. If you want to have a battle on the ground and run, they'll run with you. If you want to say whose defense is more dominant, they'll try. They seem like nobody's going to beat them. Now, everybody's beatable. That's what I love about the NFL. It's only one game. It's not a series. But they look like a team that is just this in command. They look better than everybody else on the field. They just do. They do. Atlanta didn't. So, I'm sweating here. I see my hair is all, I don't really do my edges, but I'm sweating. It's hot in here. We have Falcons and Panthers. Now, I did not see this coming either, but I'm happy for Bryce. I like Bryce Young. Carolina beat the brakes off of Atlanta and Michael Penix. It's 30-0. They laid an egg. They didn't score a field goal. That is incredible. And that kicker they need to get Young Way back in there. They do. They need to get Young Way Koo back in there because this kicker... He couldn't score at all. They were never in this game. And Bryce played okay, 16-24 for 121 yards. I don't remember Michael Penix's numbers. I didn't write them in my notes, but I know that he did have 2 INTs. And that Bijan did not have a big day. He had 72 yards, 13 carries, 72 yards. He had a decent day. But looking at everything that I'm looking at here, it just looked... Atlanta has some things to figure out because you have a good running game. You have a decent offensive line. And again, this is a division game. And I know division games can be very scary because they play you so much. They know you. So they can a lot of times pull away these wins. Like people don't understand how the Raiders used to always beat the Chiefs, like at the height of the Chiefs' kingdom. Because back when Miami used to beat the Patriots at the height of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick's reign, and they would always get beat by the Dolphins. That team that plays you that much, they start to know you and they know how to beat you, and I think that's what happened here. Michael Penix didn't. It just looked it looked very disorganized. Carolina looked like they were on their way, and I know Carolina still has a ways to go, but they looked really good. Kudos to Bryce for getting this win. I'm really happy for him. I always have been. I always liked him. I liked him when he was in college, and I like him now as well. Next up, we have Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won. Okay, that's the positive. That's all I can say. Aaron Rodgers is not the player he used to be. That's not to say that he's still not better than half of the quarterbacks playing. And I don't like him either. but Aaron Rodgers looked he looks like he's on that, that Brett Favre trajectory where he's like doing this. It doesn't look as good as it did. It didn't look good at the Jets either. But again, he won. They won the game. They're 2-1. But they're in a very tough division because Cleveland has a ridiculous defense. And Baltimore has ridiculous everything. Their defense is a little lacking this year, but their offense is off the charts. And, I guess I don't know what Cincinnati's going to do. But they're in a very tough division. And the AFC as a whole is very tough. So they're going to have to like really come into their own. And it's still time. It's week 3. But Aaron Rodgers looks like, he looks like, I don't know. The numbers between him and Drake May were kind of similar. It was nobody took away from anything. Drake May did have a lot. He ran the ball quite a bit. He had almost 50 yards, which again, this fan didn't see coming. But in any event, New England doesn't look too bad. Like I said, this game was kind of uneventful for me. The only thing I took away from this game was that Aaron Rodgers, he's starting to look like he's dwindling a little. And, if he takes this, he'll never see this. But if he does by some chance and takes this as motivation and goes out and knocks it and wins it all, I would love that because I love Mike Tomlin. So there you go. We're gonna stay in the AFC North. We're gonna do Cleveland and Green Bay. Now, everyone knows that I'm a Lions fan. I mean, I have a Lions football back there. I have my gnome. I have my pen. This is a Lions jacket. I might have on Lions pajama pants. You don't know. I love the Lions, and I never root for a team in our division. I just don't. So yes, I wanted Cleveland to win. Did I think they were gonna win? No. And when they did, I was over the moon, giggling like a crazy fool. They did great. So they want, again, I don't know what was happening. They called it a block party on Get Up, which was hilarious. Or no, it's Sports Center. It was on Sports Center. I haven't got to Get Up yet. But they called it a block party, which I thought was so cute because we had 3 yesterday, like in a row. So the Cleveland Browns defense, it was 10-10. I believe it was like 40 seconds left. Green Bay is about to kick a field goal, and it kind of was a chippy. It wasn't a very far field goal. Blocked. Picked up, ran back. Cleveland gets the ball, kicks the field goal, wins the game. Giggling like a fool. I loved it. That defense, like I said, if they could, now I'm gonna talk about Flacco. I really think it's time to pull the plug on Joe, and I love Joe Flacco. He's a Super Bowl champion, big arm QB. I mean, it's time. I don't put somebody else. Gabriel, Sanders. Go pick up Jameis Winston. He ain't doing nothing. I love Jameis Winston. Just get somebody in there because this is not going to work. It isn't. It isn't. The way that defense is stacked, all they need is a QB that can get them a few points. Because they were able to shut down that high-powered Green Bay offense fairly quickly. They were able to really put it to Jordan Love. And I don't understand why they're still holding on to this Flacco. I don't know what it is. I don't. I think it's time to put Gabriel in the game or Sanders. It's time. Joe can't do he can't get you anywhere. And that's no shade to him because like I said, he's an excellent QB, Super Bowl champion with the Baltimore Ravens. I think he's a great QB. I think he's a nice guy. Tall QB. I love tall people. But this isn't it. This isn't it. If they're trying to do anything this year, it's time to pull the plug on Joe. It really is. Because they have everything else. Like they have the rest of the stuff. If you have everything else, you need to do what you got to do. And I think putting Gabriel in the game, even if they lose a few games, putting Sanders in the game, even if they lose a few games, you get to see what you have. You get to see in a real-time game environment. Preseason is not that. And I really want to see what they can do. And you've already invested in these guys. It's been 3 games. Put them in the game because he's not going to be able to sustain that way. He just isn't. Next up, we have the Jets and the Buccaneers. Excellent game. Baker Mayfield showed out. Mike Evans went out. I was so sad. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee. Mike Evans going out made me super duper sad. I like Mike Evans. I don't know what the situation is. Like I said, it's like 6 a.m. and I need to, because I have to work at 8, so I have to do this early. Um, I don't know what the situation is. I'm probably going to take a look at Get Up later on this morning, and I don't really like First Take, but if RC's on there, I'll watch it. And I want to see what the situation is with him because I like Mike Evans. Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield play very, very well together. Now, the Saints, I'm sorry, the Saints. See what I'm doing? The Bucks did come away with a win over the Jets, even though the Jets, again, another blocked field goal. We had 3 in a row. It was crazy. Blocked field goal. Aaron Glenn went crazy on the sidelines. Everyone knows I like Aaron Glenn. I don't like Ben Johnson, but I love Aaron Glenn. I knew Aaron, like I said, I always knew Aaron Glenn would go back to the Jets because that is who he is. And I think he's a great QB. I'm sorry, great head coach, and that this team is going to do really, really well. I think they're going to do really well. But looking at how excited he was on the sideline, I mean, he just, oh my goodness, I want them to win. I want them to win. I love this division. I love this division. I love Aaron Glenn. I want to see him do great. I want to see him do well. I want to see those Jets win. I mean, that defense is going to be rocking with him. He's a great D coordinator. He was a great D coordinator here. That defense is rocket, and I loved it. It just looked great. But you know, at the end of the day, the Bucks came away with the win because Baker's good. I mean, Baker's good in Cleveland. We don't talk about that because of Cleveland, but Baker's been good. Baker's always been good. He was drafted good. It's just he went to a place where quarterbacks go to die, and I'm a Lions fan, so. There you go. But in any event, that game made me happy. Seeing Aaron Glenn, all that made me it just made me happy. Next up, we have Broncos and Chargers. Again, uneventful game to me came down to a field goal. I feel bad for Denver. They keep losing all these field goals at the last second. Like, y'all gotta figure that out, man. You really gotta figure that out because that's the second game in a row. I don't even know how that really happened. But that game was, to me, was a little uneventful. It wasn't my favorite game of the day. But they did lose on another last second field goal. They've got it feel pretty bad. Bo Nix took some hits, like some hits. I was watching Red Zone and I was just like, is he gonna get up? He did. Tough guy, you know. Kudos to him. I hope he's in the ice bath today, getting some massages and all that stuff because he looked like they were coming for him all day yesterday. That Charger defense looked good, but this is Harbaugh. This is what he does. You know, that's the Harbaugh brothers. They defense. They always have been. But that offense looked okay. You know, they ended up coming away with the win. Saints and Seahawks. Now, did I think Seahawks were gonna win? Of course I did. Did I think it was gonna be 35-3 in the first half? No, I didn't. Did I think it was gonna be 44-13 at the end? I didn't think that either. I mean, wow. Saints look bad. Now there are some people that say the Saints are tanking so they can get Arch Manning. I don't believe that personally, but I mean, good Lord, if you do get him, what are you going to do with him? You're going to put him in the same situation his grandfather was in? He's going to be on a Saints team that he was on the Aints. I'm not old enough. I'm old, but I'm not old enough to remember Arch Manning playing anywhere other than Minnesota in the early 80s. I don't remember, Archie Manning playing in he played Minnesota for, I think, a season or two. I want to say early 80s, sometime in the 80s. And his career was winding down. But according to my dad, rest in heaven, Daddy, he was the only good thing they had with the Saints for years. And he was getting beat down. My dad was like, he would be playing games with his entire jersey gone. Like, they would be ripping and he would be running for his life. Is this really what you want for Arch? I wouldn't want to go here. I don't know what they're doing. Spencer Rattler looks rattled. He doesn't look comfortable. His offensive line doesn't look that great. Kamara really couldn't get off. And Kamara's good. Kamara, I had a fantasy team named Candid Kamara once because he was my running back. Kamara couldn't really, I mean, they look dejected on this. They look dejected. I just don't know what they're going to do. I hope they get it together. Again, I like the Saints. I love Drew Brees. I had a Breezy like Sunday morning team too. I'm fun. I told you guys that. But that game it made me pretty sad for the Saints because that's a storied franchise. That's a storied team that has a lot of history. And I know they would like to get Arch, but it's just, if this is what you're going to bring him to, you're not bringing him to a successful launch of his career, and that would be really, really sad for young men. I don't like any quarterbacks. I don't love quarterbacks going to teams where they don't have the surrounding cast to be successful, because you have to have it. This is one sport where if you do not have the surrounding cast, it is very difficult to be successful in the long run as a quarterback. They will label you as a bust, like Tim Couch, or they will label you as like Baker Mayfield. They call Baker a bust, and I don't think that was ever the case with Baker. He just didn't have what he needed. He goes to Tampa and he's doing really well. And I think he played in the NFC Championship game or got near one. So I think that it's important that these rookies, especially at QB, are at teams where they're giving the support, the offensive line, the running game, the defense. Those are the top 3 things that a rookie QB needs to be successful. But I'm not going to harp on that. We'll talk about that another time. But we will talk about Dallas losing to Chicago. Again, tickled me. Now, did I want Chicago to win? No, because they're in my division and I only want my team to win. I don't care who doesn't like that. That's just me. But Dallas looked abysmal. I mean, Caleb Williams did whatever he wanted to do. I mean, if he wanted to run, he ran. They let Ben Johnson do those crazy little plays he used to do when he was here. The little flea flicker for a touchdown. It was crazy. It was crazy. I don't understand what they're doing in Dallas. And the fact that they let Micah go. CD went out in this game too. CD went out hurt. Hopefully he can come back because they're going to need him. But the Bears just did whatever they wanted. Caleb Williams had 4 touchdowns. 4 of them things. Like, where is the secondary? Where is your defense? Jerry should have never let Micah go. They should have never let Micah go. I don't understand it, because it's not looking good. Offensively, they look okay. I mean, I can't front. Offensively, they don't look too bad. I mean, Dak doesn't look too bad. He threw 2 INTs yesterday. But the offense, I mean, that defense just gave up. It's given up points. It gave up points last week. It's given up points. Come on. They're going to miss Micah. But not too much, because they're going to see him next week. And I'm telling you right now, if they lose to Green Bay next week, and I think they will, the media is going to have a field day with them. It is going to be a complete and utter dump on Jerry and the Cowboys fest. And I don't think the team deserves it. I think Jerry does. I don't think the team deserves it. I think the team plays hard. I think they get out here and they try really hard, I said, like I said, I don't think Dak is I never thought Dak was a terrible QB. But looking at that game, oh my gosh. Oh my sweet baby Jesus. It made me sad. It made me sad for them. And my son loved the boys. He loved the Cowboys. I have a son who loves the Cowboys, and I have a son who loves the 49ers. They're from Detroit. I don't understand. But in any event, that's really sad for the boys. And I really sincerely hope that at some point they need to pick up somebody, because that defense looks abysmal. They're giving up way too many points. 49ers and Cardinals, we have the 49ers pulling out the win at the last second, 16-15. Again, to me, a game kind of uneventful. Quarterbacks were pretty even. Mac Jones was the starter. Like I said, we had a lot of backups this week. A lot of them. We had Mac Jones starting in the place of Brock Purdy, and he played okay, a touchdown and INT. Kyler Murray played pretty good. I think he had a touchdown right under 200 yards, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't write that down in my notes. But yeah, Mac Jones looked pretty good. He was very excited. He played really well. And Carolina and Arizona has a decent defense. So yeah, that was a pretty decent game. I must say I got down with that a little bit. Finally, we have the Chiefs and the Giants. Now, I didn't think the Giants would beat the Chiefs, and I was right. I didn't think they would look that bad. I didn't. Russ did not look good. He did not. And I think it's time. I know I said last week or the week before, I don't know, that if they lose another game, it's time to pull a dart, and it is. It's time. This division, you have the Eagles, you have the Commanders, These are teams you're gonna have to see them. You have to. You have to see the Cowboys. I mean, it's time. I'm not saying give up on the season by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying see what you got. Put Dart in the game. If you can't do any worse than Russ, you're 0-3. You're 0-3. And I like Russ. Like I said, I love Russ in Seattle. I liked him in Denver. I thought Russ was an excellent QB. Won the Super Bowl, went to another one, should have won that one, but I'm not. That ball should have went to beast mode. And I'm not about to be mad today. I'm having a good day. But yeah, that was another. It's time. It's time to pull the plug on this and put Dart in the game. See what you got. The Chiefs, even all the mistakes that the Chiefs made, they still came away with the win, 22-9. And they made a lot because Pat was running for his life. Like Pat Mahomes is. It looks crazy in Kansas City. It doesn't look like the Chiefs we've been used to over the last decade or so. That offensive line breaks down on almost every play. It looks like Pat doesn't have chemistry with his receivers. He can't get them where they need to be. Even him and Kelsey look a little off. Like I said, he's all over the place. And that you can't sustain that way. You can't. You need to have balance you have to have balance. I mean, you just do. You can't sustain that. And I think the Chiefs they'll do what they always do, which they'll pick up somebody before the trade deadline. I think it's November 2nd. I don't know. It's coming up. They'll pick someone up before the trade deadline or pick someone up in free agency, a wide receiver, because they're going to need it because Rice is still on his game. He has 3 more games on his suspension. Worthy's still out. He needs somebody, and he needs them now. He needs somebody that can trust him. He needs Tyreek. I said it. Pull Tyreek back in there. Let's get him. Let's do it. And we didn't even talk about that game because there wasn't much to talk about. I knew the Bills were going to beat Miami. And I was right. And they beat them well. They beat them down. I mean, the score didn't reflect how bad it was, but it was. And Tyreek had a pretty decent game. But those are our games for week 3. We have my Lions playing tonight with Baltimore Ravens, and nobody's picking my Lions except me, and I will. I'm debating on whether I want to go somewhere and watch the game live. I haven't decided if I want to, be at home with all my cuss words, if I want to be out with the rest of the fans. I haven't decided. I'll decide. But I'm picking Detroit tonight because that's what I do. I pick the Lions. But I will talk about a little bit about what our games we're going to do next. And again, I'm picking the Lions simply because I think we're getting it together as far as the running game. I think we have a lot of balance. We showed excellent. Our wide receivers looked great. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think that secondary of Baltimore can be had, and I think our wide receivers can really get to them. And I think if we do that, if we play clock ball, keep the ball out their hands, do a great balance between Montgomery, Gibbs, and those wide receivers, I think we can keep the ball away from Baltimore, and that is how you beat them. Anyway, that's just my opinion as a fan. Let's talk next week, week 4. Let's see who we got. Now, I don't remember what my picks were last week because I forgot to put them in my little app where I do my pick 'em, so I lost all my games because I forgot. It's been a lot going on, guys. So I don't remember how I did. I don't think I did well. But let's go ahead and pick my games for next week. I'm going to take Seattle over the Cardinals. I'm taking the Steelers over the Vikings. Give me the Commanders over the Falcons. Chargers over Giants. Give me Texans over Titans. Eagles over Bucks. Patriots over Panthers. Bills over Saints. Lions over Browns. Give me the Niners over the Jags. Give me the Rams over the Colts. I'm gonna take the Bears over the Raiders. I'm gonna take Chiefs over Ravens. I'm gonna take the Pack over the Boys. I'm gonna take the Packers over the Cowboys. And Monday, let's see, give me the Jets over the Fins. And the other Monday night game, give me the Broncos over the Bengals. Those are my picks for week 4. In any event, guys, this has been the Fourth and Fierce podcast. Thank you so much for listening to me talk about Fancast. I'm going to just start exclusively calling it a Fancast. I'm just going to stop calling it a podcast. Thank you for listening to me ramble about the games, what I saw, what I think, and how I feel. I appreciate each and every view, each and every comment. I try to reply to all of them. If you want to chat or argue with me, you can do it in the comments of the videos, or you can email me at fourthandfierce@gmail.com. In any event, like, follow, subscribe, share. It's $0 to do that, and you will be supporting the only fan cast around, hosted by a woman of color who's also a book lover and a coffee lover, but loves the NFL more than anything and is always rooting for her Lions. But in any event, guys, you have a great rest of your week. Go Detroit.